Hi, welcome back. I want to tell you what we are doing for 5th grade next year. This will be my 6th year homeschooling, and I will also have a 4th grader, a 2nd grader, and a 3-year-old. Okay, for Spanish, we are going to use Song School Spanish Level 2. We're using Level 1 this year. We've used it in the past, but then we took a year off, so we're repeating it this year. And I'm also adding Talkbox Mom. It's a Spanish subscription box. They have the Spanish in phrases, and then you put it around your house and start speaking in actual sentences and phrases. So I think it'll be fun to combine those two approaches to Spanish next year. For Latin, we're using Getting Started with Latin, and we've only been using it for a month or two, but it's been going really well. I really like his approach, and he has 2 Latin books, so we'll finish that one next year, probably midway through the year, and then start the second one. For music, my kids are in a violin strings class, or a homeschool strings group on Tuesdays, and so he will continue with that. He plays violin, and then he also does Hoffman Academy, which is piano. Next year, they might be adding a guitar class to the homeschool strings group. So if they have that, then he'll be in guitar as well. But that's still up in the air at this point. We will also continue with Prodigy Bells. It's such a great program for music theory and ear training. For math, he's going to continue with Matthew C. Epsilon. He just started it last week, and it's fractions, so he'll continue that probably through most of the summer, and then end sometime in the middle of next year, and then start the next Matthew C. level. He is also doing Miquon. There's only 6 books in the Miquon series, and they're very thin. So he is midway through. He just started the Green Book, and I feel like Miquon and Matthew C. complement each other really well, so we'll continue with that. We also use the Memoria Press Math Challenge, and it's just a thick book, yay big, full of math problems. So just addition and subtraction, and they just do 100 a day, and it only takes 5 or 6 minutes. It's not very long, but it really has helped to cement math facts and get their speed up for math. We tried Beast Academy this year as a supplement, and he had a hard time with it. I might do it again next year as a supplement, so that's still up in the air. For logic, we've been doing logic from the Critical Thinking Company this whole time we've been homeschooling. So we do things like balance benders, mind benders. We'll continue those next year. And then this year we are adding an actual logic program. I haven't decided on one yet. I'm going to look in the Well-Trained Mind. They have a bunch of options there. So we'll start working on a formal logic program this year. For writing, we're going to continue with Essentials in Writing. He'll be in the 5th grade level, and that one has grammar built into it. So it's the first half is grammar, but it also teaches writing through the grammar, and then the second half is all the paragraphs and longer writing assignments, like expository writing and persuasive writing, things like that. It's a really good program, great for reluctant writers. We've really liked it. I'm also adding the Kilgallen Sentence Composing for Elementary School, and this program is a lot different. It basically has the kids analyze and take apart and copy sentences from famous writers. And they don't just, they copy it, or they'll add their own words into it and replace it with the writers. And it's just helping them learn the structure of really well-written sentences. It's unlike anything I've ever seen out there, so I thought it would be great to combine different approaches for writing, especially since he is a very reluctant writer. I'm also going to be adding Story Starters. This is a really cool book I found. It's pretty thick. There's a ton of stories in there, and so they're exciting stories too. And so you read the story, and then when it gets to the exciting climax, the story stops, and then the kids finish the story. I thought that'd be fun to do this summer or on Fridays and just get some creative writing and get more comfortable with putting words on paper. We tried Grammar Galaxy this year. We really liked it, so we'll try level 2 next year. It's kind of a living books. It's a whole story about these kids on English planet, and they have these adventures, and things go wrong in the language, and you have to fix them and figure out what's happening. But by doing that, it teaches you about different things in the language, in language arts. It's really a fun take on it. So we're going to continue with that. For proofreading, we are continuing with Editor-in-Chief from the Critical Thinking Company. And each 2-page spread has about 6 little paragraphs to fix. I just have my kids do one a day, and that's fine because I just want them to do a little bit of proofreading each day and get used to that. Now for science this year, we are doing biology. I try and follow the Well-Trained Mind pretty closely. Of course, we do veer for things, but we follow the 4-year science cycle, and this year's biology. I love biology. It's my favorite. I'm always reading scientific articles on different biological discoveries. I think it's fascinating. However, I also think it is the biggest science umbrella, and so many things fall under it. And so it's hard to cover everything adequately. So this year has been kind of tough trying to find a science curriculum. So I think I've settled on sciencemom.com. She has 2 one-semester classes for middle grade students. One is genetics and one is molecular biology. So if I buy them together, there's a discount. And so I think I'll probably do that maybe this summer, just to kind of take some of the load off during the school year. Each class is about a half hour, and then there's a worksheet packet thing and some experiments and stuff. So I think that'll be fun. And then I I'm really excited for the genetics class because I love genetics and DNA, and I always used to make the Punnett squares when I was a kid. And then we're also going to use Ellen McHenry's Basement Workshop. That's the name of her website. And she has a curriculum that she sells on Amazon called Botany in 8 Lessons. And I'll link everything below as I'm talking about it. So if you are interested in anything, you can go and find it. And if I've done reviews on anything, I'll link that above as well. So it's 1 semester class on botany. And then I was also thinking of adding mystery science, because if you go through, they cover kindergarten through 5th grade. And if you go through and pick out all their biology lessons, it is enough to do 1 lesson a week, plus I think 2 or 3 extra for the year. And since I have a 2nd, 4th, and 5th grader next year, I thought that might be like a nice group thing to do. Obviously, some things will be too easy for him and some will be at his level, but that's fine. We haven't done biology in 4 years, so it's good to have a review of some things. History this year we did Story of the World, level 4, but now we are moving on from Story of the World because I don't want to repeat it because their level 1 seems too young for 5th grade. So we are going to the Classical Academic Press's new history program, which is the Curious Historian, and it's a 3-level program. So there's 2 years of ancients, and then 1 of medieval, and then that's all they have for the program, and that's all they're going to have as far as I know. So in order to keep the 4-year history cycle, on the 4th year, I'm going to go back to Beautiful Feet books because they have an early modern to modern history curriculum for those ages that I'll have at that point in time. So I'm not worried about that messing up the 4-year cycle or anything. I think it'll be great. It'll work out just fine. So the reason I picked this one is because I like the format. The books look really nice. They have colored maps, colored pictures of artifacts, colored pictures of places. They also have workbooks, of course, and I like how in-depth it goes. So even though it's 2 years of ancients, we're not doing Greeks or Romans this year. It's ancient Egypt and ancient India and China. And so each year has 2 semesters. You have to buy the first semester program and the second semester program. But it looks like it goes really in depth. So I'm really excited to go much more in depth with history. But Story of the World, I feel like it's a good program, and I understand that it is a chronological story of history, but it's just so jumpy and it's hard to know, like, oh, who is this person and why are they here? And oh, we're going back to this guy. So I think I'm going to like this history approach with the Curious Historian a lot better. For PE, my kids are so wild, we don't have to have PE included as the curriculum. It's getting them to sit still that is the problem, but we do have a giant trampoline. They have bikes, pogo sticks, scooters. Sometimes we go to the skate park in nice weather. We were doing a homeschool PE / taekwondo class, but that got canceled, so that was really sad for my kids. I'm thinking about joining the YMCA next year. I've never joined before, but someone posted in one of the homeschool pages in a town near me. She posted her YMCA's homeschool schedule, and I didn't know they had homeschool classes during the day. So that changes things. So I might do that and just do a 1-day YMCA day where they just have classes all day there. On the schedule, they had things like piano or gymnastics or dance or PE or art. And so it just kind of varied. So I'm still looking into that. I'm not sure if we will or not. For geography, he's going to do Around the World with Picture Books Part 2. It is for younger kids. I think it's 1st through 4th, I think is the thing, but that's fine. We did the first level of that last year and we all loved it so much and learned so much. So it's fantastic. We're going to use it again. So I'm not concerned with it being younger than him because I do go very in depth with everything. I did a video here of the review of Picture Books Around the World Part 1. So check that out if you want to see what the program is like. In addition to Around the World with Picture Books Part 2, we are also going to do the Draw the World series by Kristen Dager. And she has a bunch of books like Draw Europe, Draw North America, Draw the World, Draw Africa. And so each one just focuses on one part of the world. I have flip throughs of those as well. Each page just has a tiny little red part to do, and that's the part you draw. So you draw a tiny bit each day, and eventually you just draw the whole continent, and it's just step by step, so it's not overwhelming. For handwriting, we're going to use Xander Bloser again. For spelling, this particular child has a very hard time with spelling. He has gotten a bit better over the years. I think he might be dyslexic, possibly. I'm not sure. Anyway, so we are going to do Evan Moore spelling again. Check out a walkthrough here. It's quick and easy. It gets done every day. So that's why we're doing that one. He's also been doing the Reading Eggs spelling portion. It's a computer program that teaches kids how to read. And they also have a phonics part and a spelling part. So he's been doing the spelling part sometimes. I'm going to try and get it more of a daily habit this summer and also have him do the phonics part as well. And hopefully that'll make more of a difference. And then we're also going to add back in sequential spelling. And we've done it in the past. We just never finished the first book because it just takes a lot of time. So I think, because each day has 25 words. So I think this time I'll just do 12 words one day and 13 words the next day and divide each day up into 2 and maybe spend 4 days on that. So, A part, B part, and then repeat them because spelling is important. I mean, we do a spell check, but it is important to learn how to spell. And then for reading, I don't have a set list of books. You have to read this time, this time. No, what I do instead is I go through the Well-Trained Mind and I find books from the history period we're studying in his grade, and then also the literature suggestions they have, and make sure that he reads those if we can find them at the library. Most times we can. There's always a few we can't. If I can't find them at the library, I check LibriVox, which is a free it's a free app, and they have lots of books in the public domain, and volunteers have read them, and so you can go in there and find thousands and thousands of books. I also go to the Ambleside online website and look at his grade level and see if there's anything I want him to read. I don't love all their literature suggestions. Some of them have been fantastic. Some of them have really not been. So I find ones I think would be interesting to him or just good for him to read. And also I find ones about the history period we're studying and pull those in as well, because they always have older books on there. Of course, I also use the library and find books I think he would like. He finds books he would like, and also books that I've read as a child and loved. I try and have him read those too, because I don't care if my kids don't just read classics. Some homeschoolers get really stuck on that, but my goal is to get them to enjoy reading. So if they want to read things that aren't classics, I'm totally fine with that. For art this year, I don't know that I'm going to use a curriculum. I think what we're going to do instead of an art curriculum is to go back to Draw 3D and really get their drawing skills really developed. They do drawing when they do their maps for geography, but I also want them to know how to draw freehand as well. So we'll do that, and I'm also wanted to do the Let's Make Art channel on YouTube, and they have a watercolor channel, and so maybe have a day of drawing and then a day of watercolor and do that way, so they actually develop skills in a medium instead of just, this day we're drawing this, and this day we're gluing paper down, and this day we're doing a relief painting with watercolor and crayons. I feel like all the curriculums is kind of the same projects over and over again, but I think it's more important to get fluent in a medium. So fluent in drawing or fluent in watercolor. All right, let me know in the comments what you are doing for 5th grade. And if you want to know what we're doing for 4th grade, check out this video here. Just like and subscribe. I'll see you later.